The Upanishads say, if you think you understand Brahman, you don't. And if you know you don't understand, you begin to understand, because the source, the eternal self, is never the object of its own gaze. A knife doesn't cut itself. Fire doesn't burn itself. Light doesn't light itself. You can't grasp yourself. And if you think you did, you only caught a reflection. That is the great mystery. What you are seeking is what is looking, so it slips any grip. Every attempt to hold the wind ends with empty hands. When you let go, something deeper listens. When you stop forcing, defending, controlling every comma, the energy that was in tension returns to you. It doesn't vanish. It comes back as quiet strength. Call it the Tao, the way. It moves left and right. It supports all things without dominating them. It accomplishes and asks no credit. It flows. The more you trust, the more power you feel. Not power over others, but power with life. The paradox is simple. You gain strength by releasing control, not by tightening it. Look to nature. The river doesn't argue with the rock. It goes around. The tree doesn't fight winter. It withdraws. The tide doesn't ask permission. It comes and goes. When you cooperate with the larger movement, the unexpected begins to help. Like on the Kon-Tiki raft that crossed the Pacific. Wood swelled, ropes bit, fish flew onto the deck. The universe has ways of protecting those who stop warring with it. The problem is rarely deciding. It's believing you can decide perfectly. Too many variables. You weigh, compare, and in the end, make a move that almost makes itself. Sometimes it works for reasons you never considered. Life says, trust a little more, think a little less, act with presence. Great leaders don't micromanage. They delegate. They build living organisms, not dictatorships. In a body, cells don't ask permission at every step. They act and cooperate. Democracy beats monarchy not because it's always right, but because it allows distributed intelligence. That's how life operates. Participation, adaptation, trust. Letting go isn't naivete. It's inner structure. You don't throw responsibility away. You reposition it. Leave fear where it lives and place attention on what you truly control. Presence, pace, direction. When the mind stops digging trenches, energy returns to the work. At the root of conflicts, it's rarely them versus us. It's fear. Fear of not controlling. Fear of the void. Fear of admitting, I don't know. And it's precisely in that honest, I don't know, that something underneath listens. Pseudo Dionysius, the Areopagite, called it the cloud of unknowing. Not ignorance, reverence. You say love, unity, light, and no word reaches. The greater truth sits beyond labels. The ancients called it the negative way. God is not mind, not justice, not light, not even one. If someone says they saw and understood, they saw something else, an idea, an angel, not the source. That reverent silence echoes the Upanishads. The highest won't fit a definition. It appears when noise ceases. That's why trust is intelligence. You trust your heart beating. You trust that if you wish to wake at 6, the body wakes. Deep decisions rise like hiccups. They appear. Life already works this way. Trusting isn't blind risk. It's alignment with how the real already moves. Anxiety is born of demanding total certainty. You want to decide and guarantee nothing slips off script. The more you demand, the tighter you get. Loosen a little and something wiser takes over. That something is life itself, which you try to direct as if you owned the theater. Letting go isn't losing, it's aligning. You don't abandon, you cooperate. And in cooperating, you don't need to prove anything. The strength that doesn't show off transforms the most. Try it. Stop pushing the river. Trim the boat. Read the current. Row with rhythm. The energy you spent on control returns as presence, clarity, and quiet courage. Much exhaustion comes from playing protagonist of the world, as if everything depended on you, as if life were a machine of buttons. Relaxing isn't quitting. It's giving back to life what is life's, and taking with vigor what is yours. Your part is attention, honesty, and an active surrender. There is practical politics here. If we don't learn to enjoy deeply, we will destroy ourselves in boredom, fear, and endless fights. The age of leisure demands maturity to be at ease. Otherwise, every side invents a new scapegoat and the wheel of blame spins. The problem isn't left or right. It's the terror of letting go. Ask yourself, what do I really want? The first answer is rarely true. You say comfort, safety, applause. Then you see, not quite. Finally, silence arrives. Why don't you know? 2 reasons. Because you already have what you seek, and because you cannot fully see yourself. A knife doesn't cut itself. A flame doesn't burn itself. You are the source of wanting. You can't catch yourself. And when everything collapses, plans, structures, towers that felt eternal, the world men build turns to ash or melts like snow on sand. That shouldn't frighten you. It's liberation. You don't need to let go of what was never held. Nature is letting go for you. Resisting the inevitable sustains pain. Each time you truly release, a new kind of power appears. Not the power to force, but the power that comes when you stop holding up the illusion of control. Energy once spent on defense returns as creation. You added nothing. You simply stopped holding back. None of this is dogma. It's experience. Not believing the right theory, but feeling it in your bones. The West emphasized belief. The Gnostics spoke of knowing by experience. The Christian tradition at its center speaks of incarnation, the divine in the body. Somewhere we lost the living and kept the labels. Pseudo Dionysius reminds us, the cloud of unknowing is a door. Cross it, and the universe stops feeling foreign. You stop trying to possess life and let life pass through you. You give and receive without bargaining. The energy that arrives when control falls isn't yours, yet it flows through you completely. Curiously, it appears when you no longer need it. In practice, it's simple. Trust, delegate, let go. Delegate to people and to life itself. Build systems that work like a body. Participation at every level. Remember, healthy cells don't ask permission to breathe. Do likewise with your team, your family, your routine. Design boundaries. Grant autonomy. Accompany with presence. Distributed intelligence creates results no single center could. And in decisions, accept the limit. There will never be all the data. There will never be zero risk. You weigh, you listen, and when it's time, you decide. That's how great businesses are born. That's how great loves begin. One conscious step into the mist. Trust reorganizes everything. The right people appear. Synchronicity becomes routine. Chance cooperates. Like on Thor Heyerdahl's raft, pieces lock when you align intention and humility When you stop fighting the ocean, it carries you. Bring it into the body. 3 simple exercises. First, the conscious "I don't know." Before an impasse, whisper "I don't know" and breathe 3 times. Notice the space. Second, practical delegation. Pick a task you do by habit and teach someone to own it with autonomy and criteria. Third, daily flow. Walk 20 minutes with no headphones, simply observing. Fix nothing. Let the world move you a few steps. You'll notice effortless peace. Strength that doesn't need to prove itself. Joy that comes when hands open. And in that opening, courage grows to trust on a larger scale, with people, with business, with life itself. If this met you at the right time, do 3 things now. Like this video, subscribe to OPoderDaMentePróspera, and share it with someone who needs it today. Write in the comments, "I trust the flow and release control." Declare, practice, live. When you let go, you don't lose. You align. When you trust, you aren't exposed. You are true. The universe answers presence, and in that silent dialogue, you discover you were never separate. You were home all along.